If you're approaching retirement age and feeling mentally done with work, but also feeling uncertain about what comes next, you're not alone. I speak with people all the time who say things like, I'm tired of working, but I'm not sure I'm ready. I don't want to make a mistake that I can't recover from, or I want to retire, but what if I outlive my money? Or what if I lose my sense of purpose? And here's what I want you to hear clearly. Those thoughts are normal. In fact, they're signs that you're taking things seriously. Because retirement isn't just a numbers decision. It's not just about reaching a certain balance or hitting a birthday on the calendar. I believe retirement is about knowing that you're going to be okay, not just financially, but emotionally and logistically. And if part of you is ready to walk away from work, but the other part of you is holding back out of fear, this video may just be for you. Hello, I'm Scott Norris. I'm an investment advisor with Royal Fund Management and the owner of Nexus Financial Group. I help individuals and couples build retirement plans that are grounded, tax-aware, and resilient so they can step into the next chapter with clarity and confidence. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 questions that I have witnessed help so many of my clients move from uncertainty to peace of mind so they can stop second guessing the timing and start understanding what's really holding them back. In my opinion, you can't retire well when you're unsure. But once you have a clear, complete plan, the fear starts to fade. Part 1, can you afford to retire? Not just today, but long term. This is the first question most everyone asks themselves. Can I afford to retire? But here's the problem. Most people only try to answer that in the short term. They look at their account balance and they think, well, I've saved a decent amount of money and I think I can make it work for the first few years. But retirement isn't just about the first few years. It's a 25 or 30-year journey and hopefully longer. And it's typically not just about what you have today. It's about what your savings will need to do for you over time through different market cycles, inflation, health changes, and lifestyle shifts. So the better question to ask is, can my money generate sustainable income for the rest of my life? So that means looking at things like what your Social Security benefit will be and when's the right time to start it. What does your withdrawal strategy look across your IRAs, your Roths, and your brokerage accounts? And how much will you pay in taxes each year? Because gross income, this is the first question most everyone asks themselves over time, and whether you've accounted for healthcare and long-term care costs that tend to show up later in retirement. Now, here's what I've seen happen when you put all of that together in one place. You stop guessing. You see what's sustainable, and you can evaluate retirement as a real plan, not just a hope or a hunch. When clients sit down with me and we run this analysis, one of 2 things generally happen. Either they realize they're closer than they thought, or they see exactly what needs to happen to get there in the next few years. Either way, it can turn fear into clarity. Because when you understand what your savings can actually do, you don't have to second guess your decision anymore. Part 2, what are you going to do with your time? Now let's shift gears from the numbers to lifestyle. Because once you know you can retire, the next big question becomes, what will I do when I no longer have to work? And I can tell you this from experience. The happiest retirees don't just stop working. They retire into something. You see, when you've spent 30 or 40 years in a structured routine, you're earning, producing, you're solving problems, it can be easy to underestimate just how much you have your identity tied to your work. So when that ends, if you don't have a plan for your time, it can feel disorienting. That's why I feel this step is just as important as the financial side. Ask yourself, what gives me a sense of purpose when I wake up in the morning? What do I want more time for? Family, travel, service, creativity? Am I excited about how I'm going to spend my time, or just looking forward to leaving work? Because the answer to what's next needs to be something you move towards, not just something you're escaping from. Many of the retirees that I've helped transition have found fulfillment in things like mentoring or volunteering, taking on a part-time or project-based work, but it's on their terms. Picking up hobbies they haven't had time for in decades, traveling with intention, visiting their kids or grandkids or places they've always dreamed of, building new routines around wellness, friendship, and rest. And what all that has in common was this: they didn't leave a life behind, they stepped into a new one. So, yes, retirement is a financial decision, but it's also a lifestyle decision. And if you want to feel confident about retiring and not just capable, you will most likely need clarity on how you're going to use your time in ways that is meaningful to you. Part 3: what really is driving the fear? This is where we can unpack what often holds people back, even when the math checks out. By the time someone comes to me and they say, I think I'm ready to retire, but I'm scared, what they're really expressing isn't just doubt about their numbers. They're expressing something deeper, something emotional and very human. Because retirement brings up a different kind of fear. The fear of the unknown. Fear of losing control, fear of making a decision that you can't take back, even if you've done a great job saving, even if you've been responsible your whole career. There's still a part of you asking, what if I miss something? What if I retire and I regret it? What if I can't go back? And here's what I want you to hear clearly. That fear is normal, and it doesn't mean you're not ready. It just means that you need more clarity. In almost every case, that fear starts to fade when we bring the full picture into focus. When you can see exactly where your income is going to come from, when you know what your tax strategy looks like, not just this year, but over the next 10 to 20 years. When you stress tested your plan for market downturns, inflation, and unexpected expenses. And when you've identified the lifestyle you want and you know your finances are designed to support it, that's when I typically see people go from I'm afraid to retire to I'm ready to retire and on my terms. So if you're feeling that tension right now, tired of work, but not quite sure what comes next, ask yourself this. Is my fear about not having enough, or is it about not having the full picture yet? Because in my experience, it's rarely about the money alone. It's about the uncertainty around the decision. And when you bring clarity to that uncertainty, that fear may just start to lose its power. So if you're sitting in that space right now, tired of working but scared to retire, I want you to know this. You're not the only one. And more importantly, you don't have to figure this out alone. The fear you're feeling, it's not a sign that something's wrong. It's a sign that you care, that you're thoughtful, that you want to get it right. But what I've seen time and time again is this. Fear fades when you have a plan, when you know your income is secure, when you've accounted not only for taxes, but inflation and volatility, when you can see where your paycheck will come from even after the job ends. You don't have to guess anymore. You can retire with confidence because you're no longer walking into the unknown. You're following a path that's been built around you. So if you're ready to explore what that path could look like, book a call with me using the link in the description below. We're going to walk through your income, your lifestyle, your timing, and most importantly, the questions that's keeping you up at night. You don't have to rush. You don't have to force anything. You just have to have a roadmap that shows you what's possible and sustainable. Because retirement is a process, not an event. It doesn't require guesswork. It requires a plan. And I'm here to help you build it.